Hey guys, welcome to this very special episode of Dude, I Love My Ride, because I've got not one, but two guys next to me, and it's a very special edition because we're talking about Mopar. Meet Dave and Quentin, and these guys are not only Mopar guys, but they're also fellow YouTubers. So Dave, tell me about your YouTube channel.
Well, I just do general reviews on my 2014 Dodge Charger RT all-wheel drive. I do have it pro-charged, and it's just a lot of fun stuff. So if you guys wouldn't mind checking me out, it's youtube.com/daslamas.
And Quentin, how about yours?
My channel, we got a YouTube channel. It's MeanB392. On my channel, I do some car detailing stuff and also some product installs on the vehicle. YouTube channel is new, but I am growing from here. So you guys definitely check me out if you don't mind. And that is at www.youtube.com/MeanB392.
Yeah, so please check those guys out, and let's start by talking about how you guys met, because this is the first time you actually met in person. So tell me how you guys met.
Well, really, it was we're both longtime subscribers of TFL Car.
Well, thank you.
And I had sent a couple of messages, posted a couple of times, just trying to get a hold of Roman because I'm hoping one day that he and I could race my car versus his Hellcat.
And we were going to do it this morning, but unfortunately timing constraints got in the way, but we will race.
Yes.
We will definitely race.
It's a promise, right?
No, that's more than a promise. That's a guarantee, dude. We got to race, because now that I've seen your ride, I'm really interested to see, if a Hellcat can take, well, we'll get to that. We'll go to what's under the hood. But it's an all-wheel drive car, and of course the biggest problem with the Hellcat is the Achilles heel is the fact that it doesn't get any traction, especially on cold days. So anyway, you were saying, how'd you guys meet?
Yeah, so I posted a few times on TFL Car, and with Mean B being a subscriber to TFL Car, he saw my comments, and
So from there, I basically commented on that video also, and then I got onto Das Llama's YouTube channel, and I made some comments to him because I realized that we live fairly close to each other. So I just asked if you guys are ever able to set that race up between you guys, if I could just basically kind of tag along just to watch it.
Oh, no, you're not going to watch. You're going to be
part of this race, man.
You're gonna be part of it. So yeah, you guys are going to race, and then the winner races the Hellcat. I think that's how it's going to have to go down.
I think that'll go really good.
Because that's actually a good comparison. Now, one of the things that I've always found interesting is that of course, Dodge stuck a 707 horsepower monster engine in a car with rear-wheel drive, right? And you kind of sorted that out. So tell me about your car. Let's start with yours.
So when I first bought the car, the RT all-wheel drive is probably the slowest RT Dodge makes. It weighs 300 pounds more than all the other RTs, and it's more of like a daily driver, a get-around type car, and people don't view that as a race car type deal. So I was looking at possibly buying a Scat Pack, very similar to Mean B's Scat Pack over here, and my wife told me, why don't you keep the all-wheel drive, and is there a Scat Pack we can install on your Charger?
You can get the sticker on it for sure.
I love my wife so much, but I got what she was saying, and very shortly after that, I ended up putting a Pro Charger system on my car.
So you supercharged it, of course, and how much horsepower are you putting out?
At my last dyno, it was 521 all-wheel drive horsepower.
Was it at the wheels?
That's at the wheels.
So that's putting out probably more like 6 to 650 at the crank, right? Because you're losing that power before it gets to the wheels. So that should be interesting. Now, how does a car perform? I mean, that's one of the things that people can do. Have you been to Bandamere? Have you been to Bandamere?
I have.
I've been to Bandamere a bunch of times, and I'll always amazed. There's some guy with a 4-cylinder turbocharged STI that's putting out 1,000 horsepower. You can do that, right? You can tune it to 1,000 horsepower, and he lines up, revs the engine, and right, blows up the transmission.
Blows it up, yeah.
Right, because it's everything downstream of that also needs to be beefed up. So does that car handle? Does the transmission? Does the drive shaft? The differentials? Do they handle that much power?
So right now, I've got about 5,000 miles on the car with this Pro Charger. I'm still running stock internals, stock transmission, stock transfer case, stock differentials. All of that is stock. So the only things that we ended up upgrading was the fuel pump, the injectors, and just a custom tune. And we did a really conservative tune in the way of the timing, in the way of the shift points. That way it's not a really aggressive shift point, so I'm not blowing things up. So really conservative tune, and that's kind of the important thing about doing this type of modification and not having everything beefed up yet.
So one of the reasons we do this show live is because we want your interaction. So if you have any questions for me or for Dave or Quentin here, type them in and we'll read them out. And the other thing we'll do, of course, is before the end of the show is we'll do a walk around of both cars and we'll start them up because you got to hear these bad boys. So have you taken it to Vandermeer yet? Have you done a quarter mile? And what was your time?
So one of the other mods that I didn't mention is I have a 3600 stall torque converter put on the car.
Nice.
And we actually just installed that the second week of October.
And the Vandermeer closed.
Right after the last test and tune day.
All right.
So I have not been able to get it as it sits right now to the track, but I believe I'm down in the 12 somewhere.
All right. How about before you put that on? Did you have it there?
So yeah, when the car is bone stock, naturally aspirated, I ran a 1501.
Yeah, that's about right. Now keep in mind, guys, we're at a mile above sea level.
Yes.
And that really saps a lot of the power. I would say at least 15% down from what the factory numbers are at sea level, if not more than that. So, don't be surprised that our numbers are lower than you might get if you're at sea level. How about you? Have you taken it to the drag strip yet?
I have not taken my car to the drag strip yet.
Yeah.
I would like to this coming summer bring it down to Vandermeer because it's a really nice facility that you guys have available down here.
Is there anything like that up in Wyoming? You're from Wyoming.
Yes, from Wyoming. We used to have a racetrack up there, but we no longer have any racetracks up there. So closest for me is Vandermeer down here.
All right, so tell me about your car. Obviously, it's a Scat Pack. It's that really cool, it's B10 blue, right?
B5 blue.
B5 blue,
yep.
yeah.
So it's a 2015 Challenger Scat Pack,
Yeah.
B5 blue. Just done some visual stuff to it. Not a whole lot. Haven't done any kind of performance modifications or anything to it. But you know how car guys are. They can't stay that way forever. So
Yeah, and
who
you know
knows what the future holds.
What's interesting about Mopar and Chargers and Challengers, of course, is that unlike Mustang and Camaro, well, Mustang there's only two variations now. There's a 4-cylinder turbo, and then there's the 5-liter, 95-liter V8, and there's the GT350. But so there's three versions. Chevy has something similar, but with Mopar you can get the base Pentastar, you can get the Hemi, you can go for the 482. Right, and then 492. I get those 392. I always get those wrong.
Yep,
392. And you can go for the Hellcat. You can go. So there's really 5 different variants, right? So why'd you go with the Scat Pack?
So I chose to go with the Scat Pack because I was wanting that extra performance. I felt that it was a really good option for the price range that they run in. So because basically, without a few of like the SRT pages that you have on the 8.4 inch U-Connect and the adaptive or the magnetic tune suspension like the SRT8s have. Besides that, I'm pretty much at an SRT8 level, but in an RT trim level.
So you're like maybe $20,000 or even $30,000 below Hellcat, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's a significant step up to go.
So to be able to get the 392 and the RT package, I still have the 4-piston Brimbos on it, so the brakes are still upgraded. The SRT8s, they do have the 6-piston Brimbos up front. So I just felt that it was really good. And being able to get that 392 with it has been a lot of fun with that car.
And any mods on it?
Like I said, I have a few visual things that I've done on it. So like the side marker lights I have tinted on the back tail light. I've also done that. The only other thing that I have done to it is I put an oil catch can on it, try to keep some of that excess blow-by oil out of the intake side. So other than that, really no other mods to it.
And what... you have a sponsor, you said, actually. Who's your sponsor? Let's give them a shout out.
I actually have 2 sponsors.
Okay.
Lux Auto Concepts. So they do the side marker tent kits for these cars.
Yeah.
So they do all that. They also do it for a wide range of other vehicles also. So you guys can also use my code. It is MEANB392, same as my channel name, and that'll give you guys 15% off.
Nice.
So I think that's nice. I was able to offer that for people also. And then my other subscriber is HemiFam. On that, I also have a 15% off.
Hopefully that's your other sponsor, not subscriber.
Or not subscriber, sponsor. Sorry, yeah, no other sponsor.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
No, I know it's all right.
All right. So the question is, you've got a Challenger, you've got a Charger. Why did you get a Charger, and why did you get a Challenger?
I got twins.
Okay, you can put them in the back of the Challenger.
The wife said that she didn't want to have to deal with the 2 doors and getting the kids in and out. So I had a Ram 1500 prior to this, and I got the quad cab instead of the crew cab, so I had 6 inches of less legroom in the back. And with twins, I didn't have the option to shove them all on one side.
So we're gonna have to show you what he's got in the back seat because it's pretty cool. But Dave has managed to walk that fine line between having a family car and having a performance car. So I applaud you, Dave, because that is not easy to do. Because when my son, who's here actually, was that age, we had a Volvo station wagon. So of course it was a VR 70. So it was a little bit performance minded, but it didn't have this much power. What are your plans for the cars? Where are you taking yours, and where are you taking yours? Is there more upgrades that you're going to do to them? Let's start with you, Dave.
So yeah, I'm working really closely with Range Precision Motorsports. So you want to talk sponsors? He's really curious what he's able to do with this car. So he's been working with me a lot. I'm looking at doing a water methanol injection kit.
Nice.
Depending on how funding really goes here, I really want to start forging the internals. I'll do a full exhaust system on it. At some point, I'm going to have to rebuild this transmission to handle some more.
Because you've only got the 5-speed, right?
Yeah, the 5-speed NAG 1. I believe the world record for the all-wheel drive Charger is, and I'm not 100% on this one, I believe it was a 2007 all-wheel drive RT, and he ran the quarter mile in about 11.7 seconds.
That's fast.
So I want to beat that.
Yeah. And how about you? Where do you plan to take yours?
I do want to do some stuff to it. I've a lot of things about pro charging the 392s with the compression, everything they have. I don't know which way I want to go. I have looked at nitrous kits.
Yeah.
I have looked at pro chargers. I know I want to do something more. Basically, I'm in the same boat as Dave. I want to have something that I can catch and potentially beat a Hellcat with.
Yeah.
So, I'm not set on
go for the
a
demon.
certain way.
If you're gonna
go for the demon. Let's
yeah.
just
All in,
pass the
all in.
Hellcat.
Let's go all in. Go for the demon. Those things are hard to hook up too.
So, yeah, I don't have a certain road that I want to go down, but here eventually I know I'll find that on what I want to do for more performance out of it.
Well, the crazy thing is, I got to go on the launch of the Demon, and it has that trans brake, right? The transmission brake. And that supposedly makes it easier to launch. It's really hard to use. It's not like a tool like launch control where you just floor the accelerator, hit the brake, and let go of the brake. There's a lot of skill that's involved. So that number that Dodge put out there, which was I think 9.65 on the quarter mile for the Demon, that is like under perfect conditions with the track set up just right, with the compound put on so you get the right amount of stickiness. So I think that's more of probably a 10-second car, or maybe even a high 10-second car for like normal mortals who aren't familiar with it. So it's certainly catchable, I think.
So yeah, I mean,
Well,
I guess I'll just have to one-up you saying, no, I'm just joking. I'll just go for the demon.
I think the real challenge, like you had mentioned earlier, us being in high altitude, Colorado and Wyoming, stuff like that, I think in reality, to catch those goals, we're going to have to lower the altitude a little bit.
Yes, because the altitude that we're dealing with does make it extremely hard.
Yeah. So tell me, go ahead. You got a question? We got a question. Go for it, Tommy.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of comments.
Okay.
Street Muscle 392.
Why don't you come over here and say them, because otherwise we'll have to repeat them.
So Street Muscle 392 says, "Love the all-wheel drive Charger Hemi. So sad they don't make them anymore."
Yeah, I know. I just think that they didn't sell enough of them.
Yeah, and not that they don't make them anymore. It's not necessarily available to the public, but as time goes on, you can still get the new body style with the V8 paired with the all-wheel drive. You just got to buy a retired patrol car.
There you go. You get the patrol car, and you get all the patrol car upgrades with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a comment. Someone says they got their Scat Pack just on a baseline run to do 12.7 in the quarter mile.
Not bad.
But that was just for fun.
Yeah.
We have some questions about the internals on that 5.7. Have you had any issues with the stock internals?
So as of right now, my understanding is the stock 5.7 can handle right around 600 to 650 horsepower on the stock internals, which means I'm pretty much on the edge of breaking something. So a lot of people, and I've encountered this question a lot, or this comment a lot of people are saying I'm driving a ticking time bomb. It's only a matter of time before the forced induction on this car breaks something. I run about 7 pounds of boost in my car, and the way superchargers work, that's only if I'm redlining it, and I don't drive that way all the time. So yeah, I mean, when it comes to modifying cars, guys, just know something's gonna break.
Yeah, it gets expensive quick.
Yes.
We've got a bunch of arguments going on about the Scat Pack. Can we clarify, is the Scat Pack an appearance package, or what does that package give you?
So on the Scat Pack package, basically you're taking an RT car, which is, you guys are familiar with the RTs with the 5.7s, and the Scat Pack is going ahead and upgrading it to the 4-piston Brembos like I was talking about. They put the 392 in it. It doesn't have the suspension like I talked about earlier that an SRT8 car does. So basically you're right in between an RT and an SRT8. Is what I would say.
It's like the least expensive way to get the big engine without going full on, right? So right. So it's kind of the budget minded guy's way of getting a really great and powerful car without having to go to that next step.
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys are saying it's. A lot of these guys are saying it's the best value.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah,
By far it's the best value.
It's an awesome value for what you paid to what you get for performance and everything, and how the car feels, because it does. It feels awesome. I have ridden in some SRT8 Challengers. They were the older body style, like a 2013. But there is a difference from if you had just a V6 Charger to that, and this is basically your best option in between for price.
Now, I gotta say, I'm a huge fan of this generation of Charger. The new ones kind of look like Darth Vader, right? They've got those lights that look like, like little slits.
There's actually somebody out there that bought a white Charger, the new body style. And Stormtrooper, do you remember him? Yeah.
Yep,
So
Stormtrooper.
he actually put some black vinyls on it, and it looks like a Stormtrooper mask. It's actually pretty cool, and I can definitely see what you're talking about with the look on it.
Yeah, I mean, and the other thing is, this is the one that is actually the police car, right? That most people will know, because the new ones are out there as well, but this was the one that was like the first like really badass Charger police car. So this always strikes terror in my heart, because when I see one in my rearview mirror, I'm like, is it a bull bar?
So I wanted to piggyback on something with this the 392 with the Scat Pack, where there's some discussion that was going on, and maybe some of the viewers can answer this question for me, or answer this for me. I think in the 2017 Plus, there's like some sort of package that you can buy that gives you the fatter tires and stuff like that, and I don't remember the name of that. Do you recall that one?
I know the TAs, the new TAs that they have. It comes with a 275, so mine has a 245 tire.
So it's got the Hellcat tire.
It has the Hellcat tires on it.
The same to Pilot Sports? Is it the same tire? Probably.
It is.
Yeah.
And then they also upgraded the 2 6-piston Brembos in the front on that also. So I know that there was Scat Pack owners that felt kind of cheated, because you're getting a little closer to that price range of an SRT8 Challenger with the TA.
So could I ask,
but
how
it's
much,
still
how much was
below.
that? What's the sticker on that thing?
The sticker on mine was 51.
Okay, yeah. So that was about 20K under Hellcat.
Right.
Yeah.
But it is the base model, because this one does have like the adaptive cruise control and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I saw
that kind
that.
of bumped the price up of it a little bit.
Why'd you go for the blue? Was that something you wanted, or was that just one at the dealership where you were like,
It's
whoa?
actually kind of a funny story. It was a dealership thing.
Yeah.
We were heading back home. We were in Fort Collins, swung into a dealership, and I didn't. At this point in time, this was in 2015. I didn't think they'd have a Scat Pack, and that was my dream to have one. And I really wanted one in black. Stopped in, and they said they had one, and it was actually this car here. And when I saw that blue in the sunlight, I fell in love with it more than a black. So
Yeah, it's a classic Mopar color. So let's go look under the hood if we can get the camera over there.
Yeah,
Isn't-
Shot H says, "Can we see those badass engines?"
Yeah, let's go pop the hood. Why don't you guys pop your hoods, and we'll work this. We'll grab the camera and come on over here. Here, I'll take this.
Michael's gonna.
Just take it on the stand. All right, Dave, let's start with you. Let's talk about what you've done, because it looks really factory.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's all about being a sleeper car too.
Yeah.
It's I designed mine more in the way of go and not necessarily show.
Yeah.
So,
So kind of walk me through the changes you've done.
So under the hood here, the first thing that a lot of the 5.7 guys are gonna recognize is that this is something that's new. So I have a Pro Charger D1SC blower in here with a front mount intercooler. I have Hellcat injectors, so I had to take something from the nicer cars here. So I am running Hellcat injectors. It's got a new fuel system. I believe it's a 450 liter per hour, 450, one of those two for the fuel system, and a 3600 stall torque converter. So a lot of this is chosen for daily driver. A lot of people recommend going with like a Whipple supercharger or something like that. But with Pro Charger, a lot of your benefits and your boost and everything like that are going to be in the higher RPMs, but in your lower RPMs, down below 4,000 RPMs or so, it's still going to act a lot like your stock 5.7. Now, putting a 3600 stall torque converter in this as a daily driver, it takes a little bit of getting used to, but it can be done.
You know what's usually a problem, and what's impressive on this car is heat soak, right? Because when you put a supercharger on here, you're generating a lot more heat, so you got to somehow get that heat out of the engine bay. And I'm really impressed by like how factory the intercooler and the radiator are right there. It's really well done. So, I mean, did you have to take the whole front end off to install these?
Yeah, the whole front end of this car did come off for us to mount the intercooler. So with this being an all-wheel drive charger, ProCharger does not make a complete kit for an all-wheel drive charger. There is a front differential and everything like that for this vehicle, so the engine does sit a little bit higher and sit a little bit further forward. So the guys over at Rains Precision Motorsports had to do a lot of custom fabrication to get this to fit in there. And, you know, they said 70% of it fit from the factory, but we had to reposition our big red race valve, the blow-off valve, which is down underneath this front plastic here.
It's right there. It's cool.
So that is mounted right over here, this red guy right there. And just some of the piping that we had to adjust to get it to fit. And you had mentioned heat soak. So a lot of people wonder about the air filter sitting on top of this engine block right here.
We actually got like 3 questions about that within the last 10 seconds.
So just the way the supercharger is designed and everything like that, this is how ProCharger has it done. But with the front mount intercooler, I usually run about 9 to 10 degrees above ambient temperature. So I have not encountered any issues with heat soak, even driving in summer days, 90 plus degree weather. So it hasn't been an issue.
All right, how about fuel economy? What has it done to your fuel economy?
It's done terrible things to my fuel economy. So I know that the fuel economy on the dash isn't necessarily the most accurate thing, but prior to this ProCharger setup, I was getting 19 to 20 miles per gallon, according to the EVIC. Now I'm getting about 16. I actually sat down. I actually did the math portion of this to see if I can get an actual of what I'm running right now, and I am sitting right around the upper 14s, low 15s for miles per gallon. But if I stay out of it, I mean, things
Have you
pretty good.
Have you taken it beyond the speed limit? I mean, have you gone like on like the Colorado Mile or someplace and done some high speed runs with it?
I have not gone to the Colorado Mile. I know that from the factory, I think this car is governed at 133.
That sounds about right.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I did have that removed when the custom tune was done, and I'm not sure when the Colorado Mile is next. I know you guys were there last year.
Yeah, it's usually sometime like in the fall, so we probably already missed it, but maybe next year you can take it out there and see what the top end is. You know, you got to be a little careful with that, right? Because the cars are tested to that based on the tires. So you got to make sure you've got the right tires, because you would hate to blow a tire at 133 miles an hour.
Yeah, I am running the Continental Extreme Contacts right now, and I think those are rated upwards of 180, which...
Then you should be okay. Like W rated or something? Yeah,
this car won't reach 180. No matter how hard I want to push it, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's the only part. All right, so let's look at the Challenger, which is basically stock, but nevertheless, there is one piece on here that's interesting.
So I added this on. This is an oil catch can.
Yep.
They do... The 392s generate quite a bit of blow-by, and that is just designed to catch that excess oil that's just being rerouted into the intake side, just to help keep the heads clean and whatnot in it.
And I got to ask, I mean, you got blue and blue. Was that on purpose?
That was on purpose,
Yeah.
yes. I was wanting to try to carry the blue theme over to the engine bay. The car's blue and black, has a black tail band and the black wheels, so the engine compartment has a lot of black going on, so I was wanting to kind of break it up with the blue.
Yeah, and we were talking about these right here. Why don't you put the camera right? Unfortunately, Dave's is missing. Weight reduction. But Chrysler engineers say that these are soda can holders.
Soda can holders.
And there's a little, you even notice there's like a little hole in there for maybe the condensation to come poking out.
So if they're soda can holders, that must be why there's two, one for you and one for your buddy.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. We don't know if that's an urban myth. And kind of show me what's on the top of your sunroof.
Absolutely.
So let's go over there too. Close this for a sec. There you go. Why don't you go over there, and then we'll start the cars up.
Okay.
Yeah. So where's this? I mean, I know it's a Scat Pack, but
Yep, this here is it's a vinyl decal. It is made by Lux Auto Concepts, which is, like I mentioned to you guys, it's one of my sponsors. So right now on their website, you can get the tattered American flag, but it won't have the logo. He's working on official Dodge licensing, which I think that's awesome for him not to be putting out their emblems and stuff. But he will have that soon, so you can get it with, you can even get a Hellcat head if you had a sunroof on yours. I'm not for sure if you do on your Hellcat, but you can get the Hellcat instead of the Scat Pack being there. But that was something that I bought and installed on there. I just thought it was a nice little touch.
And Dave, come on over here and open up the back door of your car, because this is one of my favorite things. This is walking that fine line between minivan and...
Right there, the matching car seats for the twins.
And those are like Recaro car seats. I mean, those are.
Well, when I saw these, I told the wife, "Is like, honey, I've got to have these." And my loving wife, she puts up with a lot of my antics here, so I kind of get what I can get here.
All right, well, let's start this bad boy up. Hold on, let me open this door so we don't die of carbon monoxide. All right, start it up.
All right.
Let's hear it. Give it a little juice. Let's go to the blow-off valve. We're going to show the blow-off valve.
All right.
Let's show the blow-off valve. Let's sit down again. Hey,
Do you want to do the Challenger?
yeah, I think that's just distorting so much that we can't really hear it.
Oh.
Yeah, Michael's saying that the sound is just, our little microphone set up here is not adequate for this.
It was loud.
It was
Well,
loud.
we-
It was
we'd
very
say
loud.
that. Trust us.
Yes. So let's go back here. We'll close that door. Put this down.
Rip ears.
Probably should have thrown a disclaimer: headphone users beware.
Street Muscle 392 says, sounds like a jet.
yeah, that. So I did go with the straight cut gears on my Pro Charger just because I wanted that extra whine.
Yeah.
But they do offer a helical cut option if you want something a little more stealthy. So
I like
guess-
that wine.
Yeah,
It
I like
sounds
the wine
good.
too. Yeah. So I think the only thing left to do is now to go racing.
yeah.
So we were gonna try to go this morning, but unfortunately it didn't work out. We want to do it at Bandamere, but maybe we could still do it at our little tiny test track if you guys are up for it.
Yeah, anytime you want.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, if we have good weather, I mean, and you came all the way down from Wyoming. It's a long way to go.
No, anytime you want to get together, as long as I can make it because of the weather,
Okay.
I'm more than happy to come.
Thank you very much.
So yes.
We have a question, one last thing about reliability.
Yeah. What about? Are you worried about? Obviously, you probably avoided the warranty, but it's probably out of warranty anyway. Or was that out of warranty? 2015. You're coming close to getting there.
I bought it February 2015. I'm on the edge of the warranty,
Yeah.
and I got 35,000 miles. And yeah, let's not
go there. Okay. Well, no pain, no gain.
I know that there's a recall for the alternator on this car, and I was basically told that if there's extra stuff that they have to move to do that recall, they're going to charge me for it. So that's where recall and warranties and stuff like that go. But reliability was the question.
Oh, I don't know if we can talk about this, but what about price of install?
The best thing to do is call your local tuner shop, call Rains Precision Motorsports, and what he does is you tell him what exactly you want done with your car. He gives you 3 options, and they have 3 different prices, all the way from like a low, just a simple deal, all the way to something like this. But if you're looking at something like this with torque converter and everything like that, you're probably looking over 15.
Yeah, so you probably have different stages, right?
Yeah.
If you want to go like just light, or if you want to go all out. And
Yeah,
go.
so it just depends on all the intricacies and stuff like that. I have custom work done on the inside by Glenn Rains as well. I have gauges all down my A-pillar and stuff like that. So it's more than just the Pro Charger. There's a lot of candy.
How is it in the snow?
So far, it's been great.
Yeah.
I have not driven it in the snow with this 500 horsepower wheel horsepower setup yet. I'll just predict that it's going to be fun.
Have you at all changed the mapping on the transmission, right? Because the power curve changes, and it's obviously set up for a much lower power curve. So have you done anything with that?
So Glenn Rains did a lot of tuning in the way of the mapping for the transmission, along the lines of the reliability and stuff like that. He does a very custom, conservative tune to where the transmission disengages a little earlier and slowly re-engages. That way it's not this
Not
power
pounding,
slamming.
yeah.
So
I mean, but you can probably really tell when the gears hit.
Yeah.
Can you get to 60 in second gear? Have you noticed?
I haven't really paid attention.
Yeah.
I know that I can get to 60 in 3.9 seconds.
And that's what really counts, isn't it? Well, guys, thank you for watching. Thanks for tuning in this special episode, this Mopar episode of Dude, I Love My Ride. And stay tuned because I definitely want to race these guys. I'm really curious to see if a Hellcat with its 707 horsepower can take on an all-wheel drive car that's been tuned, or even a stock. Because the problem with the Hellcat is it's just getting that power down. So it's got more power. It should be able to like take your car, but you never know.
Just trying to get it to the ground's the hardest part.
And you're right. We had talked about going on our short little track, and you'll have the advantage with the whole shot. But if it's a quarter mile, the horsepower advantage always comes in at some point, right?
Right. So it's a catch-up game for the Hellcat
after that. Then it's just a matter of catching up, and then your car not blowing up.
Well, we'll have to see. So you guys need to stay tuned for that one. It might be an epic race or an epic explosion.
Well, guys, thanks for watching. Remember, check out tflcar.com for more news, views, and real-world reviews. And give us your YouTube channels one more time.
YouTube.com/Das Llamas.
And mine is MeanBee392. I'm not going to give you the YouTube.com because I'm not for sure on that. So just search MeanBee392, and that's my channel.
Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. Ciao.
See you guys.
Bye.